welcome to India's first Metaverse, brought to you by none other than WoWExp. And today we have with us someone who's a doyen of dance, Dr. Shovana Narayan, Padma Shri, one of the most illustrious and renowned exponents of Kathak in India. It gives me great pleasure to welcome, on behalf of WoWExp, the one and only Shovana Narayan. Namaskar.
Namaskar. How are you?
स्वागत है आपका मैम इस इंडिया के पहले मेटावर्स पे. You are the first dancer in India to go on this digital avatar and on India's first metaverse, which has been founded by Naveen Manasvi from IIT Kanpur. I thank the entire team for making this possible and for having you on this session.
Thank you very much indeed, and I'm really honored. मुझे बहुत ही, मैं क्या कहूँ, खुशी हूँ कि आपने मुझे याद किया.
मैम, आपसे पहला सवाल, कथक को किस तरह आप परिभाषित करेंगी? कथक यानी कथा.
कथक जीवन की एक प्रक्रिया है, जीवन है, जीवन को दर्शाता है. हर एस्पेक्ट में जीवन को दर्शाता है. कथा तो है ही है. हम भी जो कर रहे हैं रोजमर्रे की जिंदगी में एक कथा ही बुन रहे हैं. कोई अगर किसी की भी जिंदगी अगर निकले तो वो कथा ही बन जाती है. तो वो कथक, वो जो कथा कह रही है, लेकिन उसमें हाव भाव के साथ, स्टाइलाइजेशन के साथ, लेकिन साथ ही साथ एक मैसेज. और मैं आपको वापस आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहती हूँ नाट्य शास्त्र के पहले चैप्टर में द विजन एंड मिशन ऑफ डांस एंड म्यूजिक एंड परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट्स दिया गया है. एंड व्हाट इज इट? एक लेजेंड है, लेकिन उस लेजेंड का जो निष्कर्ष निकलता है, the essence of that legend is that to spread values amongst people who've gone astray, and to bring them to the right path. There are three ways of molding their path. One is to lecture it down, one is to talk to them like a friend, and one is appeal to the heart. And Kathak does exactly that. Appeal to the heart, and so therefore, while narrating, we are also very subtly talking about values of life, sensitivity, concern, everything that really makes life beautiful, makes living beautiful, and develops a very good human being.
Absolutely. As you said, it reflects the dance, the ethnicity, the ethos of Indian culture. But यहाँ मैं ले जाना चाहती हूँ आपको वापस कुछ ऐसे यादगार लम्हों के, और जहाँ आपने पहला स्टेप लिया. आई थिंक एट द एज ऑफ 3 or 4 you started learning dance. एंड जहाँ तक मुझे याद है, बिरजू महाराज जी आपके घर आते थे और आपको सिखाया करते थे. तो उस समय की कुछ यादें ताज़ा करें.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. You know, I was drawing your attention to this lehenga. This is the lehenga that my mother made me wear when I started dancing. And my first guru was Sadhana Bose. So they're very fond memories, which she narrated to me later on, Sadhana Bose herself, that when apparently I was such a small child and she was shocked to see my size. And then she told my mother in Bengali, have you brought to me a babe in arms to teach? But I became quite a favorite of hers. That was one. A remembrance that there was this lady, and I would be learning. The other one was of a stage performance, the first stage performance, which I'll never forget because I had become Ahilya. I was the one who was a stubborn child, and I still am stubborn. And I insisted on going up, entering my name for some dance competition, much against my mother's will. And lo and behold, the day before the performance, I got stage fright and I refused to go onto the stage for the stage rehearsal. And so I was predictably, I got the thrashing of my life, and I was told that you're such a dramebaz, you're a theatrical person, you're just making a scene, so your dance is going to be stopped. And the moment my mother's words entered my ears, I screamed, and that broke the dam of fear. And I went and danced. Came back with the first prize. So that was another memory. You talked in between. There was another guru between Sadhana Bose and Riju Maharaji. Between these two gurus, there was another one because my father was posted to Bombay. So Sadhana ji was in Calcutta. My father was posted to Bombay, and it was Guru Kundan Lal Sisodia. A wonderful guru. You know, he really, really taught me the solid rhythmic base, that was given by him. When I came to Delhi, it was Guru Birju Maharaji, and of course, one thing about him was I was under him, learning from him from 1964. I started, and then of course for a long time till I entered service, I was always there with him, and he was a painstaking guru. He would come every day, teach me very painstakingly, see all my movements, etc., the grace, the beauty, the aesthetics of dance. It came from him, and he never charged a single penny. And so I used to just give him. My mother would just give him a whole thali of pan and a whole huge katora of rabdi because those were his favorites. And so there were very beautiful memories. And on holidays, when I had holidays, he would come in the morning, and till 5:30 in the evening, I would be standing and dancing. He would make me stand till my back broke.
I'd like to ask you, ma'am, you had such a checkered career in the Indian Audits and Accounts Service. You rose to the highest rank possible. I mean, tell us of the time, because if I'm not wrong, you were a dancer first. So did that kind of reflect in the interview where you asked some questions that you're already a very well-known dancer?
Yes, of course. It was an obvious question that they would. They said, you are already a well-known dancer. Why do you want to come over here? You will leave if you're selected, you will leave it after a few years. And therefore, another candidate, you have taken away somebody else's seat, and that would go waste. So I said, but no, what makes you think that I'm going to leave it? When I took physics, I was told the same thing, and I did continue my physics, BSc Physics Honours, MSc Physics, etc. Then why? So anyway, so yes. And then of course, then you're under double scrutiny from both ends. So all through my career, whether it was the field of dance or whether it was the field of civil service, you're always under double scrutiny.
So you're an absolute example of multitasking, if I may say, so many things together, and both, you excelled at, which is something the entire millennials must reflect on and must be inspired by. Ma'am, I want to now ask you about some of your really memorable performances. You're an author, you're a humanitarian, you've done so much for the country. How would you like to remember some of those performances which you did on climate? What was the reason? What made you do all this?
I would say that the reason was largely maybe my family background. I come from a family of freedom fighters. I come from a family, my mother was also a very sensitive social worker, dedicated social worker. I've never seen a closed door in my house throughout my life. Anyone came and needed help, my mother was out there helping, going off, helping the person, whoever it was, rich or poor, needy or this thing, whatever, irrespective of status or anything, she was there to help. So I've seen that, and then she was very interested in the Hindi literature, philosophy. So the discussions at home would be on our Indian philosophy, Sanskrit, Hindi literature, and on social work. and on people and on concerns, social concern. So, and people were always coming in and out of the house. Our house was full of literateurs and people engaged in social service, people engaged in political activity, everything, you know. You just name it, besides the bureaucracy because of the father. And so we grew up in that milieu. So discussions were part of life. And besides that, also then I would also like to add that every person is born with his or her own little peculiarity. And mine is that, you know, I sort of mull over things and I try to go deep. And probably that's why I was also doing physics and all, because I like to go deep into it, to understand the why of it. And so I remember in the 70s, there were lots of, I heard about Bandhua Mazdoor, bonded labor, about Aaj Akal hai to Aaj Baadh hai. You know, that means there's a flood or a famine or this and that, and bonded labor and women's and this thing, exploitation of women and children, so all the gender issues, etc. I did the first thing on environment way back in 1982. Then the question was, again discussions at home with Ma, that when we're looking at our mythology, each mythology is also telling you a lot if you care to look into it. When I was doing Kaliya Daman and Krishna dancing on the Kaliya after subjugating Kaliya, my mother asked me that question, which I now ask everyone. Did he subjugate or did he kill? So I said subjugate, you know, hesitantly wondering where the question led. And she said yes. And why didn't he kill? Because it was so poisonous. Then she explained about the underwater life and the cycle. And that is the time, you know, so when these kind of discussions are going on, that every species is necessary, but it has the balance and harmony has to be there. And what is it? So with that Kaliya Daman, we are talking about water pollution. So then, you know, then the whole thing on water pollution, how legends can be seen in contemporary light. And Draupadi Chidharan, again environment, that we are the modern day Dushasans, disrobing Mother Earth.
I request you to show this to our viewers, ma'am, please.
I can just do this. You know, I can just do this. You know, if Draupadi is there and Mr. Dushasan coming and derobing her, you know, and she's pleading to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna hears her prayer and with his divine glory makes her sari an unending one. And once it's unending, so it just frustrates Dushasan's attempts. And then she thanks the Savior. This is the simple legend which everyone knows. But the best is how it can be translated into contemporary terms. And there, when my mother, I and Dr. Singhvi, we were sitting and we were talking, he wrote a beautiful poem, which I always ended off with, and says, we are the modern day Dushasan. Dushasan bas karo. Dushasan bas karo. Dharti ka cheer haran mat karo. फिर द्वापर को दोहराने का दुस्साहस मत करो. Dushasan बस करो, बस करो, बस करो.
Beautiful, excellent.
So we are the modern day Dushasan.
Yes, what we are doing to climate is unending harm. I mean, even animals are now being, you know.
Yeah. They are not safe in our
we're killing them, and soon if they are extinct, then I think that is the end of mankind.
And the balance changes.
Yes.
The whole
even a butterfly or an insect can change the balance of nature.
Exactly. We need all of them. There is a reason behind their existence.
Absolutely.
You need the vultures because you need scavengers. So, yes.
आपसे जानना चाहूंगी मैम, शिव पार्वती का कोई भी हमें मुखड़ा करके दिखाइए.
देखिए, शिव पार्वती again, so much. I remember 1996. I did one on Ardhanarishwar, and just think at that point of time, what did I compare it with? The transgendation.
Yes.
It was in '96.
My God,
The
look at
program
the
was
first
done
slide.
in
Kamani.
Kamani Auditorium, and it was that there's no answer to it. And I wrote that piece in that and said that if we are looking at, as far as our mythology and our beliefs are concerned, we know that there's a Shakti within everyone. There is creativity and there's Shakti within each one of us. So creativity, Shiv, Shakti, the Devi, Shakti. So with the two together become the potent combination for regeneration or creation of life or creation of anything. So the two together are necessary. You need it for anything to take birth. And now, so that we very beautifully symbolized it through the meaning of Shiva and Parvati, the Ardhanarishwar. Now the question is that if that kind of problem enters a human being, what do we do as society? Shun them, make a spectacle of them, treat them as an outcast of society, and a member of us, the outcast of the society, to be laughed at, to be ridiculed, and not to be given any respect. And what happens? And so this was the piece where I did that the pain of that person, that it could be a woman trapped in a male body or vice versa. So what is that pain? Are we able to understand that pain? It could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. And why? Then what do? We hide it. And so then
Try not to look at it.
we try not to look at it. And then, so whether it happened,
Could be your son, your daughter,
it
anybody.
could be anyone. And so that was the piece I did way back in '96, and it really got a fabulous reception. Shocked audience, but I got the fabulous reception. What an ovation I received. And you know, I did it, but a few months or something later, I must tell you, there was some television program of college students, etc. There was a panel, and one of the members of the audience asked me a question, and I still remember what I was wearing. I was wearing a salwar kurta, the Gujarat kind of with mirror work, kurta, etc. I still remember what I was wearing. It's so vivid in my mind, because this question was, ma'am, you have one son. What if you came to know that your son was a transgender? What would you do? It hit me like a ton of bricks. And then I suddenly said, what will I do? I mean, I'll be stunned, shocked, of course, trying to see why it happened, where did I fail to say. But the fact is that I have to accept it and treat him, like
with dignity.
With dignity, with my, after all, he is my flesh and blood. It could happen to anyone, as you just said it.
We must be mindful of such things. Ma'am, Shiv का कुछ दिखा दीजिए हमें.
शिव का, okay. हाँ.
जटा तभी गलज प्रवाह.
वो तो है ही है, वो तो
जो
शिव
भी
तांडव जो है. जटाटवी गलज्जल प्रवाह पावित स्थले गले विलंब लंबिता भुजंग तुंग मालिका डमड 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 निनाद डमड डमड चकार चंड तांडवम तनोतु न शिव शिव.
Beautiful. You're going to see your own digital avatar and your set digitized, and you're going to love it. So let's take you on to Metaverse.
Done. I'm looking forward to it.
How do you like the set, and how do you like your picture showing in Kathak here across all the walls?
Beautiful, beautiful indeed. Absolutely gorgeous. Even I can see you wearing your prey. And it's wonderful, wonderful indeed. Never knew that such things existed. Wow!
Actually, there is one thing to just hear of it, and you are now the experience. You are experiencing Metaverse and Kathak in Metaverse.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how do you think this could be a huge turning point for artists and creators, because it can, give you a whole visual treat, and plus, it can give you around 30% to 40% more traction in your business as a creator, as an artist, as a painter, as a photographer. What do you have to say to this new technology which will speed up with 5G?
I think, these things, these kind of technologies afford you such fantastic scope of activities. And I think an artist with a creative mind, any artist, be a dancer or a painter or anyone, they will lap up the opportunities, and you bet, they will find their own ways of how to utilize this medium. It's amazing. It's amazing. I never knew that such things existed also. Oh, and look at me looking around the whole time like this.
You'll soon find, a very, instead of this Oculus that we are wearing, you'll find smart goggles coming in and taking you to the world of 3D. तो आप अगर यहाँ कुछ कहना चाहें भारत की सभ्यता, कला और संस्कृति का, तो वो क्या मैसेज होगा, और क्या आप राधा कृष्ण के बारे में कुछ कहेंगी जो आप अपने लहजे में ही कह सकती हैं, जिसे हम बाद में दर्शा सकते हैं?
देखिए, जहाँ तक आपका ये वातावरण है और आपने ये एकदम वादियाँ, खूबसूरत पेड़ों की वादियाँ जो चारों तरफ है, और हम यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है कि वृंदावन के अंदर ही उनकी कहीं किसी भवन में हम बैठे हुए हैं, और हम कृष्ण के साथ राधा जो है बैठी हुई हैं और देख रही हैं, निहार रही हैं, और दोनों एक दूसरे को निहार रहे हैं और नृत्य में मग्न हो रहे हैं, और एकदम मग्न होकर नृत्य भी कर रहे हैं। दादा थैया
बहुत ही सुंदर, बहुत ही सुंदर।
तगदुम 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 गाची चिकरी ध्लान तगदुम 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 गाची चिकरी ध्लान तगदुम दो ध्लान ध्लान तगदुम ध्लान तगदुम
ब्यूटीफुल, बहुत ही सुंदर। मैम, आपको क्या लगता है मिलेनियल्स जिसे पसंद करते हैं, तो उनके लिए क्या डांस की अपॉर्चुनिटीज भारत में आगे के युग में किस तरह, और आप अपना मैम स्पेनिश फ्लेमेंको भी बताइए हमें कि विदेश में किस तरह रिकॉग्निशन होता है भारत की संस्कृति का। आप यू आर द बेस्ट एक्सपोनेंट ऑफ कथक एवर इन इंडिया, तो आपने क्या महसूस किया?
देखिए, जहाँ तक हमारे भारतीय शास्त्रीय नृत्यों का सवाल है, it's fabulous, it's amazing, look at the complexities of rhythm. और जब आपने flamenco की बात की, the first time I did a duet with the flamenco was in 1989, and thereafter then I did many duets, whether it is with Dario Arboleda or with so and so or with so and so. I've been doing a lot of duets with all the top flamenco dancers of Spain, of Grenada, from Colombia and other places. Now, with the result that these people, all of them, the flamenco dancers, we found that they were talking through the language of rhythm, and so was I talking through the language of rhythm, my feet, and it was amazing. But they did not have the rhythmic vocabulary, whereas we had rhythmic vocabulary. So that was the only difference. But the kind of complexities they had, we also had, and we had much, really intricate rhythmic complexity. So it was such a beautiful give and take, understanding each other, and we found that we never knew each other's language. They spoke Spanish, I spoke Hindi and English, but we all spoke to each other. We were joking with each other. And we seemed to understand each other, because what was the common factor was the common factor of rhythm, of language, of dance, which is the universal expression, the language of expression and of universal universality. So it is a universal language.
Please tell us also, ma'am, about the books that you have authored. And what is the kind of response, I'd like to ask you once again, from audiences abroad, जिन्हें भारत की मिट्टी एक तरह से खींचती है.
As far as the books are concerned, amazing. But before that, let me go back. You know, even in the field of dance, in 1994, this was the first time ever, Kathak, Spanish flamenco, and Western classical ballet dance. The three of us did together. In 86, I had done a duet with the ballet, Western classical ballet dancer. 89 with Spanish flamenco. 94, all the three of us were together. Then 2 years later, along with the tap dancer also. But everywhere, we did not know each other's language, but it was the language of dance and emotions, rhythm, and music that was the only common language. And we spoke to each other through rhythm, music, and gestures. Now, coming to my books, you know, I think the books have been amazingly well received by everyone. And one thing I've enjoyed doing while writing the books is the kind of research work. Particularly the last two books, I was going down to villages after villages, villages after villages, and trying to understand. And whatever I said, you know, had to be backed up by concrete evidence. You know, so it was an amazing journey in which I learned, I benefited, but I'm so happy that people have loved the books, and many of the books have gone into their second reprint, and one of them is going to third reprint.
We'd like to have a launch over here in the world of Meta next time. And on that absolutely lovely note, I'd like to thank you for joining us, sparing your valuable time. Dr. Shovana Narayan, Padma Shri, more success to you, more dance to you, more happiness to you, and more metaverse to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask you, चलते चलते क्या मैसेज है आपकी इस नए भारत के लिए? क्या भारत आत्मनिर्भर बन पाएगा? हम अयोध्या में राम की बात करते हैं, उस भव्य मंदिर की बात करते हैं, और एक तरफ हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो ये दर्शाता है कि we are a secular country. क्या थॉट्स हैं आपके for the millennials and the coming generation, especially on the occasion of festivals, Diwali, Christmas, everything now following?
देखिए, जब राम की हम बात कर रहे हैं, राम एक आदर्श पुरुष थे और उनके जीवन से बहुत कुछ सीखा। उस वक्त जबकि इतने सारे इज़म्स नहीं थे, लेकिन हाँ ऊंच नीच था उसके अंदर, तो लेकिन फिर भी उन्होंने इसका कभी ख्याल नहीं रखा। शबरी के बेर, झूठे बेर उन्होंने खाए, ऊंच नीच का ख्याल नहीं रखा, कभी नहीं। हम लोग तो ऊंच नीच का ख्याल रखते हैं, आज भी वही तो सब कुछ। और तो आज तो वो, तो जब हमको देखना चाहिए कि मैसेज क्या है, और उसी वक्त का है एकम सत्य विदा बहुधा, कि वही तो एक सत्य है, मार्ग अलग अलग है, हम सब तो वही पहुंचना है। लेकिन क्या इसका इनहेरेंट मैसेज है कि इंसानियत, और राम जी ने वही लिखा था, इंसानियत। उन्होंने अंत्येष्टि इसकी भी की, सुग्रीव की भी की, जटायु की भी की, कि जब जटायु वध हुआ तो जटायु की भी अंत्येष्टि उन्होंने की, एक ईगल या वल्चर, जो भी उनको जिस तरह से भी आप जटायु को कहें, उसकी की, कि उन्होंने इज्जत एक पक्षी को भी दिया, और हर चीज को। रावण के मरने पर भी इज्जत बरकरार, वो किसी को उन्होंने गलत या ऐसे अपशब्द नहीं बोले। कितनी चीजें हम लोग को सीखनी चाहिए, और
अपनी सतरंगी
सभ्यता में। और वही शायद जो आप सेक्युलर की बात कर रहे हैं, दिस इज सेक्युलरिटी, कि आप जो भी है, सब लोग तो इंसान है। कोई हम वहां से पैदा अपने रंग लेकर के पैदा नहीं होते हैं, अपने
इंसानियत से बड़ा कुछ नहीं है। बिल्कुल, जैसे आपने कहा, there is only one religion.
खून बस हमारा है।
There is only one religion, like the religion of love, the religion of humanity. इसी के साथ on this pragmatic note, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the entire team of WoWExp for joining us for India's first metaverse. Thank you for being with us today, ma'am, and all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Namaskar.